Now, with module 5.1, we have a case study which is going to highlight to us the journey of a woman who is going to claim her Indian citizenship. So, the quest for belonging, Asha's journey to Indian citizenship. The background to the same is Asha Devi, a 32-year-old woman, has lived in India her entire life. She was born in a small village in 1993. Her parents, Leela and Ram, were refugees who had fled persecution in a neighboring country. Let's call that country X in the late 1980s and had settled in India without a formal documentation. They raised Asha and her younger brother Deepak, always telling them stories of their ancestral land but emphasizing that India was now their home. Asha attended local schools, speaks fluent Hindi and other local dialects, and is deeply integrated into the local community. She works as a primary school teacher and is a respected member of a community. Her brother, Deepak, born in 1996, runs a small shop in the same community where Asha is teaching. Now we are going to take a look at the dilemma that Asha is facing to acquire the national citizenship, to become an Indian national. The dilemma, that is the ambiguity of citizenship and impact on life. Despite living in India for decades, Asha and her family lack formal Indian citizenship. This poses significant challenges. The challenges which are there are identity of rights. They cannot obtain passports, making international travel impossible. Their access to government schemes, loans, and even some types of employment is limited. While they have Aadhaar cards based on residence alone, they do not confer citizenship rights. Property rights. They face difficulties in formally owning or inheriting property as legal documentation requires clear citizenship proof. Political voice. They cannot vote in elections effectively, disenfranchising them. Constant insecurity. There's an underlying fear of being questioned about their status despite their deep roots and contributions to Indian society. Now, it is a very big dilemma because they have been living in India, they have been working in India, they are a part of the local community as well. The legal framework, relevant sections of the Citizenship Act 1955 and the subsequent amendments. Asha's case primarily revolves around citizenship by birth and potentially citizenship by naturalization. Now let's see citizenship by birth. Pre 2003 amendments. Prior to July 1st, 1987, a person born in India on or after January 26th, 1950, but before July 1st, 1987, is a citizen of India by birth, irrespective of the parent's citizenship. From July 1st, 1987 to December 3, 2004, a person born in India on or after July 1st, 1987, but before December 3rd, 2004, is a citizen of India only if either of their parents was a citizen of India at the time of their birth. On or after December 3rd, 2004, a person born in India on or after December 3rd, 2004 is a citizen of India only if both of their parents are citizens of India or if one parent is a citizen of India and the other is not an illegal migrant at the time of their birth. Citizenship by naturalization, that is Section 6 now, can be granted to a person who is not a citizen of a country specified in the third scheduled, generally illegal migrant form, the countries who have fled religious persecution and are covered under the CAA, now for faster process, has resided in India for a specified period, 12 years in total, including 11 of the last 14 years and 12 months immediately preceding the application. And it meets other criterias, which are good character, knowledge of an Indian language, etc. Now, how Asha starts to apply and what are the challenges that she's facing. Driven by the desire for full inclusion and secure future, Asha decides to apply for Indian citizenship. What is Asha's claim? She was born in India in 1993. Her parents were not Indian citizens at the time of her birth. They were refugees from country X without formal Indian documentation. The hurdles that she faces now. Citizenship by birth. The 1987 2004 clause, Asha's birth year, however, is 1993, falls within the period where at least one parent needed to be an Indian citizen for her to claim citizenship by birth. Since neither of her parent was an Indian citizen, she does not qualify under this particular provision. Parents' status. Her parents' undocumented refugee status further complicates the matter. They would be considered illegal migrants under Indian law unless covered specific provisions like the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019 CAA if they belong to the specified community, that is Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi, Christian, from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, or Pakistan and entered India on or before December 31st, 2014. If they do not fit these criteria, their illegal migrant status makes the children's claim even more complex. Proof of birth. While she has a birth certificate issued by the local panchayat much later, proving that it was genuinely issued based on the actual event in 1993 can be challenging without proper institutional records from the time of or other corroborating evidences. Naturalization for parents. Even if a parents were to apply for naturalization, it is a lengthy process and their undocumented entry would be a major hurdle unless covered by the CAA 2019. The role of human values in Asha's journey. So she's seeking justice. Asha feels an inherent sense of injustice. She was born and raised in India, contributed to its society as a teacher, and yet she is denied full rights. Her quest is a pursuit of justice. Her trust. She needs to build trust with the authorities, proving her genuine desire to be an Indian citizen and her integration into society. Conversely, the system needs to trust her bona fides. Compassion. The decision makers in the Home Ministry or District Collector's Office would need to exercise compassion, understanding the human angle of her situation beyond legal technicalities. Her dignity. Asha seeks the dignity of belonging, of being recognized as an equal citizen with rights and responsibilities. Possible avenues and outcomes. Asha, with the help of a local lawyer and community leader, explores her options. So, her very first option is appeal to the spirit of law, special cases. She might argue that while she technically doesn't meet the birthright criteria due to her parents' status, her lifelong residence, integration, and contribution to Indian society warrant special consideration. This would be a difficult path, often requiring executive discretion. Naturalization for herself, if applicable. If a parent's original country is not among the illegal migrant countries specified in the Act, and if she has maintained residency, which she has, she could potentially apply for naturalization. However, her parents' undocumented entry could still complicate the assessment of good character or legal residency for the full period required. Parents' naturalization CAA benefit. If her parents fall under the provision of the Citizenship Amendment Act CAA 2019, They are part of the specific persecuted minorities from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, or Pakistan and entered before December 31st, 2014, they could apply for naturalization under a more lenient pathway. If they get citizenship, it might open a clearer path for Asha, especially for Deepak, her younger brother, who was born after the 2004 amendment, making parental citizenship even more critical for his birthright claim. However, Asha's specific birth year, 1993, would still be the key. Now, what can be the outcomes? After a protracted legal process spanning several years involving submitting extensive documentation, interviews, and community testimonies, and with strong advocacy from the local NGOs, there is initial rejection of citizenship by birth. Her application for citizenship by birth is initially rejected by the district collector, citing the 1987 2004 amendment, which requires at least one parent to be an Indian citizen at the time of her birth, which they were not. Appeal and naturalization pathway. Asha's lawyer appeals the decision and simultaneously applies for citizenship by naturalization, arguing her long term residency, deep integration, contribution as a teacher, and the unique circumstances of her birth to undocumented refugees who had fled persecution. They highlight her knowledge of Hindi and other culture and linguistics. Conditional grant. The Ministry of Home Affairs, recognizing the humanitarian aspect and her proven integration, eventually grants her citizenship by naturalization. This is a rare outcome, often requiring high level of discretion for such cases, emphasizing that individual merits and humanitarian considerations can sometimes sway decisions within the legal framework, especially when there's no adverse record, in which her case doesn't have any. Now, the long term impact of learning. Asha's fulfillment. Asha finally achieves the dignity and security of formal Indian citizenship. She can now obtain a passport, exercise her right to vote, and pursue further opportunities without the shadow of uncertainty. She feels a profound sense of belonging and fulfillment. Social reflection. Her case highlights the complexities of citizenship laws, particularly for individuals born to undocumented parents or refugees. It sparks local discussion in the community and beyond about the balance between national security, legal definition, and humanitarian principle of belonging for those who have contributed to the society. Importance of documentation. The case underscores the critical importance of birth registration and proper documentation for all individuals, regardless of their parents' status, to prevent such ambiguities. Human values in governance. It exemplifies how human values like justice, compassion, and recognition of human dignity, while operating within a legal framework, are vital for a truly inclusive and harmonious society. The rigidity of law sometimes needs to be flexible, compassionate interpretation to ensure justice. Now, the crux is this case study demonstrates the intricate interplay of legal provision, historical context, human values, and individual struggles in the journey towards acquiring and affirming Indian national citizenship.